The Ice Age was a world of ice and death. Freezing winds cut through the skin, food was nearly impossible to find, and massive predators lurked in the shadows. Many species vanished forever, but humans fought against nature and won. How did they survive the cold? What did they eat? How did they fight off saber-toothed cats and giant wolves? Let's uncover the brutal reality of Ice Age survival. For nearly 100,000 years, ice covered vast glaciers swallowed entire lands, temperatures dropped to extremes, and survival became the ultimate test. Early humans faced starvation, deadly predators, and the relentless cold. But through fire, tools, and intelligence, they adapted to the frozen world. This is how they endured the harshest era in human history. The Ice Age begins. The Ice Age was not a single event but a series of extreme cold periods known as glacial periods. These freezing times could last tens of thousands of years, separated by brief warmer interglacial periods before the ice returned. At the peak of the last Ice Age, glaciers stretched across North America, Europe, and Asia, covering nearly one-third of the planet. Ice sheets could reach 2 miles thick, and temperatures dropped as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit, -40 degrees Celsius, or lower in some regions. Even powerful animals struggled. The once thriving landscapes became barren, forcing creatures to migrate or perish. Massive beasts, known as megafauna, dominated the Ice Age world, but many would not survive. For humans, every day was a battle against extinction. But how did they keep from freezing to death? How humans stayed warm? Without warmth, death was certain. Humans had to create protection against the relentless cold, or they wouldn't last long. Fire was essential. It provided heat, light, and protection from predators. But fire wasn't always easy to make, especially in the wet, icy climate. Some groups learned to transport fire by carrying smoldering embers inside animal horns or wrapped in dried moss. Others mastered techniques like striking flint against iron pyrite to create sparks. Clothing, simple animal skins were not enough. They layered fur, leather, and even plant fibers, sewing them with bone needles and animal sinew. Some tribes used weaving techniques to create more insulated coverings, while others smeared their bodies with animal fat as a primitive, but effective, way to trap body heat. Shelters. In forested areas, people built huts using wood, bones, and animal hides. But what about those who lived in the tundra, where trees were non-existent? Some created snow and ice shelters, stacking thick animal hides over frameworks made from mammoth ribs. Others dug underground dwellings, using the earth itself to shield against the wind. Yet, even with warmth, survival wasn't guaranteed. What about food? Hunting and food sources. Finding food was a constant challenge. There were no farms, no crops, only what could be hunted, gathered, or scavenged. Hunting megafauna. The most valuable prey were large animals like mammoths, woolly rhinos, and giant bison. A single mammoth could provide meat for months, but hunting them was a deadly task. Spears had to be thrown with precision, and hunters had to avoid being trampled. Some tribes drove animals into traps, forcing them off cliffs or into deep pits where they could be finished off more smaller game. When big prey was scarce, humans hunted reindeer, rabbits, fish, and birds. They set traps, snares, and even used early forms of nets. Some groups followed migratory patterns of animals, ensuring a steady food supply. But what happened when animals disappeared for the winter? Food storage. In freezing regions, food could be stored for months by burying it in natural ice pits. Some groups even developed early forms of smoking or drying meat. Bone marrow and fat. In times of starvation, humans cracked open bones for nutrient-rich marrow. Animal fat was highly valued because it provided energy and insulation against the cold. Even with these strategies, starvation was a constant threat. Humans weren't just fighting hunger, they were also fighting for their lives against deadly predators. Humans were not the top of the food chain. The Ice Age was home to some of the most fearsome predators in history. Saber-toothed cats. These muscular hunters had canine teeth over a foot long, capable of crushing bone. A single attack could be deadly. Some tribes developed techniques to lure these beasts into pits or use fire to drive them away. but even then, survival was uncertain. Dire wolves, larger and stronger than modern wolves, they hunted in packs and could take down massive prey, including humans. If you saw one, there were likely more nearby. Short-faced bears, these beasts stood over 12 feet tall and could outrun a human. They were aggressive, territorial, and nearly impossible to escape. Some experts believe that early humans may have had to fight for caves against these massive bears. Imagine moving into a cave, only to find a 1,000-pound predator already living there. Cave lions, larger than today's lions, these predators stalked prey in the darkness, attacking in groups. With constant threats lurking, how did humans defend themselves? Tools and weapons. Inventions gave humans an edge over nature. Stone-tipped spears, sharpened stone tips made weapons deadlier. Hunters could throw spears from a safer distance, reducing their risk of injury. Bow and arrow, developed toward the end of the Ice Age, bows made hunting smaller animals much easier. Hand axes and knives, used for butchering meat, shaping wood, and crafting other tools. Lightweight but strong, these were used for making clothing, weapons, and even sewing. Even with these weapons, humans still had to be careful. One wrong move could mean becoming the hunted. Cave art and early language. Even in the harshest conditions, humans found ways to express themselves. Cave paintings, found in caves like Lascaux, France, these paintings depicted animals, hunting scenes, and handprints. Some believe they were used for storytelling, teaching, or even spiritual rituals. Symbolic communication, language was developing, allowing humans to share survival strategies, warn of danger, and coordinate hunts. These early signs of culture set the foundation for human civilization. But what happened when the Ice Age finally ended? The end of the Ice Age. Around 12,000 years ago, the world began to warm. Glaciers melted, sea levels rose, and landscapes changed, forests expanded, creating new food sources. Large Ice Age animals went extinct, forcing humans to change their hunting methods. Early agriculture began, as humans started planting seeds and domesticating animals. With the Ice Age's end, humanity entered a new era. But the struggle for survival was far from over. The Ice Age was a brutal test of survival. Cold, hunger, and deadly predators made life nearly impossible. But through fire, tools, and relentless determination, humans endured. If they had failed, we wouldn't be here today. Would you have survived the Ice Age? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more history content.